Breakfast and brilliant ideas, coffee and conversation, we're serving up that and much more at IBJ Media's events. Join us at an upcoming event and kickstart your day with fresh ideas and new connections. Check out our event lineup and register now at ibj.com/RSVP.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. WellCare Community Health has announced plans for an expanded main clinic in Richmond. CEO Eric Coulter says the move will allow for increased capacity and enhanced services, including behavioral health, to serve the growing healthcare needs in East Central Indiana.
We found we thought a really good location. It's about 1.5 miles from our current facility. And so we'll be able to modernize some of the equipment, have more space. So adding on things that we didn't have previously. We'll be able to get people in more efficiently. We might have some pharmaceutical availability.
WellCare is a federally qualified health center that serves patients in Wayne, Fayette, Clark, and Scott counties. The St. Joseph County Council on Tuesday postponed a vote to rezone more than 1,000 acres of farmland near New Carlisle for a planned $12 billion data center. The petitioner requested the delay in order to have more time to work out issues with the town related to the amount of water the data center would need. Foreign Local Brewery and Tap Room is looking forward to the opening of its new location in the Hessville neighborhood of Hammond before the end of the year. The new 6,000 square foot brewery location occupies the former Hose Connections building, and the brewery says it plans to add up to 15 jobs. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
RV manufacturers of all sizes gathered this week for the Elkhart RV Dealer Open House, a 4-day dealer-only event that gives exhibitors a chance to showcase new models, preview upcoming products, and connect with dealers ahead of the busy winter and spring show season. Dozens of companies filled the show grounds, with manufacturers showcasing a variety of strategies to attract dealers in a market that has been soft over the past 18 months. John Kreider, Vice President of Marketing and Product Development at Elkhart-based Thor Motor Coach, says companies like his are looking at ways to adjust to the current market.
As we look at what people are spending money on and everything, people still want to go camping. They still want the lifestyle. But, things have just become a little bit more expensive recently. And so they've got to decide, am I going to buy an RV or am I going to be looking at something else? And so we're really trying to push the price point of products down, but not take away stuff like, you're still going to have a generator. You're still going to be full self-contained. And so we've really taken away that ability where you can kind of customize everything. It's more of your, Henry Ford Class A type thing where, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. So we're doing the same thing.
The event also showcased efforts to help shape the industry's workforce and culture. The RV Women's Alliance hosted its annual kickoff breakfast and promoted an upcoming scholarship for women seeking educational opportunities in the industry. The board of directors for the Grissom Air Museum in Miami County has approved plans for a $750,000 expansion of the museum that will more than double its current space. Currently, the museum encompasses about 6,000 square feet. The expansion will add about 8,200 square feet, allowing the museum to incorporate more STEM-focused learning opportunities and house its TB-58 aircraft indoors. The museum plans to break ground on the project next week. The museum is also looking to complete fundraising for the project and said a donor has agreed to match all contributions up to $200,000. Mandy Mikulski is celebrating her first month as the leader of Science Central. The Fort Wayne facility provides a variety of hands-on, science-based programming for about 135,000 visitors annually. Mikulski told Inside Indiana Business she wants to build on Science Central's success.
I'm constantly starting to think about, okay, what is next for this organization? I see as a place that can be a major attraction for this community. I want people to walk in and feel inspired and engaged and ready to just be themselves and have a great time. The board is fully ready and engaged. We're going to be working on a strategic plan. So that will set the roadmap for us to think about the future.
You can read the full Q&A with Mikulski at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. IB Tech Community College President Marty Polio is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Do you want the real scoop on what's happening in Indiana business? Check out the IBJ podcast. I'm Mason King, and each week I sit down with people who make news in Indiana to get insights and perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. It's business, but you won't need an MBA. The guests run the gamut from CEOs, developers, and sports executives to artists and chefs and financial planners. If there's a theme, it's that everything has a cost. And success often depends on how you define profit and loss. So if you want to deepen your understanding of the people and projects shaping Indiana, give the IBJ podcast a try. You can find it at ibjpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
The IBJ Media Podcast Network is the soundtrack of a growing state. Indiana is on the move, and you can hear it happening on the IBJ Media Podcast Network. We bring you the voices at the center of our economy, our courts, our companies, and our communities. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation that's building Indiana's future. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.